Ha ha! What's up, Busters? The bug catcher is here today, smoking trees, and I'm catching Butterfrees. And before I even get into it, we're approaching 1,000 subs, and the bug catcher can't do it without the people, without the Busters hitting the subscribe button, maybe leaving a comment, right? I appreciate every single one of you, and without you, I am just another guy. Because of the 850 as of this recording or so, I'm the bug catcher, right? And with that all being said, bust bags. You see the title. You saw the descriptions. You saw what you clicked on. You know what we're about to get into. It's the big time. Sun and Moon. The first real grand adventure, right? You know, right when I turn these games on, as you can see through the cutscenes now, I was just blown away. I wasn't blown away by X and Y, and I'm not sure why. You would think that would be the games to really blow something away, right? X and Y, the first 3D, but they suck, right? Now, Sun and Moon, right when it starts, I just know I'm about to get into a real grand adventure. Kukui's all in your face with his little rock ruff. You know, let's just get right into the real big doozies, right? The no gyms were a good thing. You know, the fact that you really have to immerse yourself in this region to get this region, to feel this region, Busters. The totem Pokemon challenged your entire existence. The Pokemon of the island challenge you, right? Not the gyms. There's no gym to test your might. You know what I'm saying? The actual native Pokemon do that. They want to know if you're good enough. Not some random motherfucker mastering the Pokemon, right? The young goose wants it up with you, right? The Salazzle, the Lurantis or Morantis, Florantis, Sarantis. You know what I'm saying? They want it up with you. The wishy-washy. They want to challenge your merit, your fighting spirit. You know, it's one thing for Brock to want to do that, you know? It's Brock. Like, he's cool, and I get that, you know, they're testing your ability with the move, but the Pokemon are like testing your heart, right? The Z moves are awesome. I enjoy the cutscene of the Z moves. The fighting one is my favorite. The pummel, I forget the name right now, Busters. The one that's called like pummel power. You know what I'm saying? That one's really cool. I like Alolan Raichus. I like the starters. I like everything about the Z moves. You know, I think they're the best gimmick, excluding Mega Evolutions, which I don't count as a gimmick, because a gimmick to me kind of just goes with the one region, and that's their special thing. I know you can Mega Evolve in, you know, Kalos, and that's where it originated, but you can Mega Evolve in Kanto and Let's Go. You can Mega Evolve in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Hoenn. You can Mega Evolve in the Alola games. You know, you can do more Mega Evolution than anything, Busters. So I wouldn't even call that a gimmick. Now, the Z moves, I feel like they're the best because it's not just like Dynamaxing or Gigantamaxing, they get bigger. Kind of like with the Mega Evolutions. It's all about the bond, right? The Z crystals, you do your thing, your little dance, hey-ya. And then, you know, your Pokemon gets it in, right? You know, speaking of cutscenes, I said the cutscenes for the Z moves I like. Obviously, if you see on the screen, thank you, shout out FC Playthroughs. This game has a lot of cutscenes, right? Now, if you watch any of my previous videos, you'll know that I normally think the story-driven games are the worst, right? Black and White, the sequels, Diamond and Pearl, X and Y. I just hate everything about X and Y. I can't wait on a video for that one. Even Ruby and Sapphire kind of starts dipping its toes where it shouldn't belong. Ugh! I want to expand the sea. I want to expand the sea. Shut the fuck up. You don't even know why. You don't even know why you want to expand the sea. At least Lucam, at least she is someone you can picture in real life being obsessed with all things beautiful, right? And in this world where things are exaggerated in Pokemon, you could see where someone like Lucam will go batshit crazy like she does in Sun and Moon, right? You could see that. The way it affects Gladion and Lily, right? There's a lot that can be said about the story. And you know what, Busters? I'm about to say it. So, the fact that Lucam is she's probably the best rival. Not the best rival. I consider the Aether Foundation the real evil team. So I consider her one of the better evil villains, right? Team leaders, because she is realistic in a cartoon exaggerated way, right? Like I said, you could really see someone in that world losing their mind over beauty and doing what they do. And then she fucking hits the fusion high dance and fuses with the fucking jellyfish boy. I can never pronounce a lot of the Ultra Beast names, right? Speaking of the Ultra Beast, them bitches are dope. I'm jumping a little ahead of myself. Let me get back to these cutscenes, right? So the story's great. The cutscenes are well animated. I don't care if there's a lot. See, there's a lot of cutscenes in black and white. And that shit bothers me. Because the story is not as good. Because like I say in other videos, I don't give a damn about N and his stupid ideals, right? Like, I just don't give two fucks. You see what happens when I get too worked up about N, Busters? I accidentally end the video and have to remake a new one. Anyway, black and white suck because the story's too convoluted. Doesn't make sense. When that kind of story's in your face, aggravating. When this kind of story's in your face, good. You know what I mean, Busters? Now, the graphics in this game, if I didn't know better, I would think this was Sword and Shield DLC. Name another place that looks better than Ula Ula Meadows, right? If that's how you say it, anyway. Excuse my French. But that place looks like the ghost of Tsushima should be strolling along through his horse. One of the most prettiest places in Pokemon. Even like the tree on your screen right now, the palm trees, the grass where the Pokemon is, so you can see the stairs in the back. This is a good looking game for the 3DS, bro. This blows X and Y clear out the water. And it's not even close. Though I like the ride Pokemon. I'm glad that we are long past the days of HMs, but ride Pokemon aren't too different from HMs, right? Let's be real. But it gives you, I think, no one complains about the ride Pokemon. I've heard some people complain about the ride Pokemon in Sun and Moon. No one complains about the ride Pokemon in Legend Arceus, right? Because for them it makes sense. Because, like I said about the Totem Pokemon, everything, the Pokemon are testing you. The Pokemon kind of test you in Legends Arceus, and I feel the ride Pokemon, you have to earn their respect. Do you know what I'm saying? Everything here is culturally connected. That's the big doozy of the matter. That is the big doozy. The Pokédex is good. if most Pokemon have ties to something in this region. You know, look at the lowland forms, right? This is the first region that introduced that because this place is they just adapt differently here. Certain Pokemon adapt differently here. Is what it is. We see it in other regions, but this is the first time, and it just makes sense. It just makes sense, Busters. The Pokemon they used, Raichu being a surfer, y'all. Exeggutor, growing. The young goose and the dark type Rattatas. All that goes together to real life Japan or real life Hawaii, real life in the game, right? A lot of the Pokemon really have ties to the region, more so than not any other region, in my opinion. And really, this is one of the first regions that started that. I know Black and White had Braviary, right? And that's the first American region. But, not every Pokemon was Americanized. I feel like almost every Pokemon in this game is has Hawaiian characteristics. You know what I'm saying, Busters? The legendaries make sense. Tapu Pupu, Tapu Koko. I fuck their names. They're cool, right? The Bule. I forget the names, but they're all cool. They all make sense for the Kanto birds are just birds, right? They can be in any region. But you're not going to find Tapu Koko in Johto. That's just not going to happen. But you might find Articuno in Johto. You might find Articuno in Sinnoh. You might find Articuno in Galar. But you're not going to find Articuno, you're not going to find Tapu Koko. You're not going to find him in other regions. Back to the Ultra Beast, I brought him up earlier. These are some of the best. Some of these guys are some of the best designs. They show a lot of love to the bugs in this region. Buzzwole, Pheromosa. Great designs. Stakataka, or however you say his name, right? The one with the throws his party head off. That dude's wild. These games, while I haven't played them as much as other ones, they give me a sense of freedom, even though they're linear. That's what I took from this game, that even though it's linear, it's really not. That, people say that about Black and White. The routes are expanding. The routes are expansive. So are the routes here. So are the routes here. You're on an island. You're on 5 islands if you count Aether Foundation. It's just islands you get to explore. That's what all the hype about Gen 10 is, which is going to be in Italy. People think it's Greek. But if you look at Italy, they have islands coming off their peninsula. And then Sicily is a big-ass island its damn self. And in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they even started on the Mantine Surfing, Team Rainbow Rocket. You know what I'm saying? They kind of dropped the ball with the Lucamine part. But that's not really what this is about. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't drop the ball with Necrozma just chilling in the fucking snow like Yamcha. Just out and about. Just dead. Catch him. Bow. Like that. When I saw him, I stood up out my seat. I said, oh shit. What is he doing here? Team Skull's a bunch of lovable goofballs. If you're from here, I noticed this. If you're from here, even if you're part of Team Skull, they love you. You're still part of the islands. The Aether Foundation are outsiders. They're not. They got the machines. The Ultra Beasts are invasive. And a lot of the story of this game is invasive, Busters. Again, when I first turned these games on, I just knew they were built different. They look different. They feel different. They play different. They battle different. Again, I can't do this channel without you guys. Hit that sub, the notification bell. The bug catcher is out and about, and he's not gonna pout.